Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the Chiefs
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the war field.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Although the NFL season is done, there's still many games to be played between college basketball, NBA, NHL, and WNBA. There's always time to embrace your inner underdog. All you got to do is predict higher or lower on multiple different player statistics. If you have yet to download the Underdog app, do so now and get free cash. Click the link in the description or use promo code ChiefConcerns, one word, to claim your free pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So let's continue to keep the good vibes going into the spring season. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash, and right there is my guy, former Chiefs tight end, Jason Dunn. And tonight, guys, like we promised you, look at those arms. Look at those arms. We're going to have a lot of big arms on the show tonight. We're not talking about mine. We're talking about Jay, a special guest of ours. But on Monday, we guys kind of teased a little bit. We were going to have a guest on Wednesday, and today on social media, I kind of, had a pixelated picture of this player, and we had a slew of people commented saying it was our guy Mike Pennel who's going to be joining us tonight. But yeah, it should be a good episode. JD, any words before we get our guests of the hour on the show tonight?
Man, this is going to be a huge treat for me. I'm a huge fan of Mike and what he does on the field, just his personality. You could tell, like in the locker room, and for me, I always tell you this. I'm like, man, this guy's got the biggest arms of the NFL, and so I showed mine up here. These little peons right here. Now, Mike, he's gonna come out here with some big guns. So tonight, man, it's gonna be a big dog episode. Let me put it that way. And so, like I said before, man, it's gonna be a good treat. It really is. And so, I hope the people here in the chat and whatnot really just throw their hands together, give them a good welcome from the Chief Concerns family to Mike, man, because this right here, like I said before, is an absolute it's a great reward for us, man, to sit there and have a guy like him here. So it's gonna be a good thing, man. Good thing.
Let's do it.
Let's see, the chat is rolling now.
It is. Everyone's coming in slowly but surely. But yeah, let's ready to get the man of the hour on.
Bring him on through, man.
Let's do it. Without further ado, here is our guy, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike the Beast Pennel. What's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, brother?
What's up, Mike? What's going down, big bro? How you doing?
Well, brother, good to see you. Good to see you. Glad to be here.
Good. I see, man. How many shirts you got like that, man? You always showing the guns. That's what it is, ain't it? Huh?
You look like you understand the struggle. We gotta go sleeveless most of the time. We coming fresh from the workout.
Look, we know this. Hey, man, you got a good attribute, man. You supposed to show those things off, right? I mean, you just ain't getting in the weight room just to get into shape. You got to. Hey, look, you want to show everybody how you've been working in the weight room to get into shape, right?
He owned to something there.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir, Mike. Man, hey, look, man, welcome to the show, man. Chief Concerns, and the family. Everybody's coming in here, kind of in the chat. We got a good following, man, of people just that are real football fans, Chiefs fans. Love the team, love you guys, what y'all been able to show, what you've been able to do. For us, what we have on this side of it, for somebody who's played the game for a long period of time, is actually open up the locker room a little bit, give everybody so they can see you, actually see your face, see who you are. I mean, I think sometimes, man, that's what people actually miss. They don't really get to see the personalities of who guys really are, truly. So,
yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm. But
yes. So before we came on, so Mike and I were talking a little bit and just looking at your biography, you were born in Topeka and you actually grew up a Chiefs fan. And I was telling him, Mike, like usually when I'm talking to players when they first come on, I was like, oh yeah, so JD, played for the team and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, I know. I grew up watching JD.
Is that right? Okay.
Oh yeah, that was a heyday, man. Priest Holmes, JD, Neil Smith, Trent Green, man. I was watching, man. I was watching. It was hard being a fan in Denver, but I stayed true.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I know they gave you a whole lot of business over there, man. We ain't quite like them donkeys, man. You know how it is.
Right.
So we always got to give it to them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, Mike, man, let me ask you a question, man. One of the things that we talked about kind of on our show was how happy we were that the Chiefs had re-signed you. Okay. And I was sitting there telling Marcus when I heard this news, because we were just talking about, how the offseason goes. We don't quite know what's going on behind the scenes. And then all of a sudden, hey, they re-signed Mike Pennel. I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what we need. And so sometimes trying to keep those core group of guys together, trying to make that run is important. It's vital to the things that you're trying to achieve. And what I want to just tell you, and I told you this off the field, backstage, is I just want to commend you, man, for the amount of time that you don't put in to play football. And I don't think people quite understand how much of a rare breed you are, a rare bird, because of your longevity. To be able to be in the league up to 12 years, but more importantly, to be here with the Chiefs. And I just say this all the time, Mike, just watching you, because I grade the game every week, okay? And I always talk about Mike, don't I, Marcus? And I'm just like, man, look, Mike, what Mike did this week. Look what he was able to go out there and do. And sometimes what people tend to do, they tend to look at sometimes sacks numbers and all these other things. And I'm just like, I don't think people quite understand how much of an impact that Mike and other guys are making for other guys that are getting sacks are able to do what they're able to do, right? So one thing I just want to tell you, man, I just want to commend you that for the work, man, and the things you've been doing out there on the Chiefs. But I'm so happy, man, that they got you back. They got you back, man, for this run, man. So tell a little bit about that, man, how you feel and how the year went for you last year, So
Yeah, I mean, once again, I appreciate that, JD. I mean, I watch a lot of the things that you talk about. I'm a guy that's always in the shadows watching. I always know what's going on. I appreciate that you have a true, understanding of the game from, a scheme side, a personality side, a people side of what goes on the football field. So I appreciate that a lot. This past year coming back, man, I just came into the role of, finally year 11, kind of, being a veteran, understanding that it's more about, doing my job and having, the younger guys and teaching them where my mistakes were and things that I could do to make my career excel and everything that I've been to help them. So I took that seriously last year. And being in, the Kansas City locker room and that system with Coach Reed, Spags, Joe Cullen, I mean, it's very, very high demand. And that's from everybody. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, like everybody is, Trent McDuffie, everybody is commanded to perform at the top level as a whole. It's not just depending on one guy, it's a team and a group effort. So this year, man, I really just wanted to, prove, that I was still able to play at a high level this far into my career. Took more time in the scheme, and I wanted to be more impactful on younger players coming up in the Chiefs culture and the system. I didn't really realize it too much because I'm not really a guy that, as you know, I'm not really a big media guy. I try to steer away from the interviews. I just love playing football. I love being around the guys. But it took, some coaches telling me and some people around the building just how much of an impact that I could have, just from my words and my experiences other than what I'm doing on the field as I transition to later in my career. So I just took that very seriously this year. Last year, and this year as well, even more. Just taking that seriously and then just finding out, kind of what you want to do after the game a little bit. You understand, JD, that end is kind of like, don't want to be a part of this, do I not want to be a part of this? And just being around the guys, it really helped me make that decision in my head that I want to, step into that role, help players be successful from rookie to middle of their career all the way to the end and just, eventually when I get done, I want to coach. I want to help young guys in the NFL and, not let them make the same mistakes I did, put them on all the free game they need so they can be successful for their team, for their family, So, I mean, that's just where more last year really took that role and kind of I took that on, full head of steam, and I enjoyed it.
Brother, man, I tell you what, you answered. I had like 5 questions for you. You answered every single one of them, just in that one right there. Seriously. One of them was, I was going to ask you, what you thought about doing after football? You thought about coaching, and you just said it. But that was another question I had for you was, how do you feel like your responsibility was to the young guys that were there on the team and the younger guys coming in? You fit in that role. How did you feel about it? And I mean, you said it perfectly. You absolutely said it perfectly. And the thing is, man, Mike, for the life of me, I've heard other guys, okay, on other teams, I ain't gonna say no names, that said they don't feel like it's a responsibility to teach young guys, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm gonna let a guy trying to find out on his own. I'm like, well, why would you want to do that? Did somebody teach you when you came in? Hopefully somebody helped you out or showed you the way when you came in and, brought you, hey, young Rook, come over here. Let me talk to you a little bit. Let me just put some in the ear, just tell you how to kind of conduct yourself, carry yourself. And I just thought, man, if a guy that is in his, later years doesn't understand the responsibility, man, he's doing a disservice, not just only to the guys, but to himself, right? So, man, that was an absolute perfect answer, brother. Perfect answer. See, and I know, man, I could tell that you're a football guy. I told you, man, I could just tell, man, that you're a football dude through and through. And like just your personality just comes out. You could just see it. And like you said, behind the shadows and stuff. But I think the reason the Chiefs brought you back is because they understood your worth. They understood your value. They understood, like you said, the impact that you would make. Joe Cullen, Spags, I played against Spags, for a number of years. I know Spags, man, talked to that joker. So I already know how Spags feels about things. You know what I mean? But I think it's very important, like you said, them understanding and knowing Mike Pennel in our locker room is going to help us get there. It's going to help the younger guys get to where he's at, to understand what this business is all about. Mm-hmm. So I tell you what, man, that was a perfect answer. I tell you, man, you just ran back 5 questions down. I'm like, dang God, there's 1, 2, 3, So,
oh yeah. Hey, to your point, man, been playing in the league a long time. You see a lot of guys who do it right. You see a lot of guys who do it wrong. I feel like as a veteran, if you make it past, a certain point of that 10-year mark, you got to make a decision what type of veteran you're going to be. I was very, very fortunate to, coming in the NFL in Green Bay and have B.J. Raji and Julius Peppers, Clay Matthews, Aaron Rodgers. Like, these guys really were in their prime, established, like, the height of their careers in the All-Star commercials, all that. And these guys took time to talk to an undrafted free agent about the progression and the steps I needed to take to be successful in the NFL. If you wanted to play 3 years or 10 years, these guys told me the guys that did it wrong, the guys that do it right, how you should carry yourself, and how you should want to see the younger people that, you helped and from that rookie year be successful. So, I mean, being in Kansas City all the way from 19, I mean, I was with Colin Sanders with his rookie year. After that, Tershawn Wharton. After that, Mike Dana, and just being in the room with these guys and seeing them take that next step to that second contract, no matter if it's here, no matter if it's somewhere else. I mean, that's the most fulfilling thing I get out of my career now. Because, I mean, these guys, and JD understands, you these young guys that don't understand nothing about the game, they technique off, they don't know what they're doing outside the field. But I mean, you see them growing to men, and you see that the advice they came and seek from you is actually what they implemented, and it made them successful. Man, that's a feeling that I can't even measure. So proud of all them guys, man. Like truly. I mean, and how the Chiefs locker room is, we all stay in contact. We're all brothers, you know what I mean? So it's real. It's almost unreal. It's like a professional high school team that just everybody knows each other. Everybody's family's always around each other. Everybody knows each other's kids. So I've been a lot of different places, and nowhere else is like that. And the uniqueness of being in Kansas City, man. I mean, no wonder why these guys have the success that they're having. It's crazy to see.
Yeah. And you can tell the difference between organizations too. And you've been around to a few places to kind of tell exactly the difference in the locker room, upper management, how they treat each other. Is it a good relationship, or how do they actually, do they respect you? Do they value you? Or are you just kind of some guy? One thing I had to say this about the Hunt family, from playing in, I was out there in Kansas City for 8 years. And, Lamar, he knew every guy's name. He knew our families. He knew your mother, your sister, he knew all of it. And he would come down after the game, shake your hand and ask how you were doing. And you knew it was personable. You knew it wasn't just fluff, right? Some guy, hey, how you? No, he was like, how you doing? How's your mom and stuff, right? And so I think that atmosphere and environment that they try to foster a lot for guys is why a reason a lot of guys don't want to leave Kansas City. That's the reason guys want to stay around Kansas City if they can, right? So if you know that you've been somewhere and you know what you know, right? It's like, hey, man, look, this is the spot. If you want to be anywhere, this is the spot to come to. So I just let me ask you about Amenahu, okay? I seen Amenahu out there last year at the game. I talked to him when he was hurt. He was just trying to get back, man. He was like, yo, big dog, man, I'm just trying to get back. I said, man, I can see the passion right there in your eyes. I can see that. And I know for him, the patience of trying to wait for the contract and all these things to happen. I'm sure he came to you, asked you like, man, what do you have to do? And I'm sure like you as a older gentleman saying, hey, look, sometimes you got to play your cards the way that you had to play them to get what you want. And sometimes it's just that patience you got to do. And I could see that. I could see those relationships that you had. That one little video, I don't know if you've seen the little video that we kind of shared. I think it was then at the Super Bowl, but you was talking to George Kalafkis. You was kind of making fun of a lot of different guys. And I said, man, I could tell how everybody looks at Mike. I could tell they looking at Mike like
it's a good time always.
Mike's the one to keep the room going all the time, like just
Yeah, I mean, and with Charles, man, he's just very, very passionate. He's a perfect, fit for Kansas City. But with him, it's just, timing and faith. He just has to have a complete full season of him being healthy, no trouble or anything like that where he can focus. And he's in line for that right now. So, I mean, he's always been in communication with everybody in the defensive line room. Everybody knows how hard he's worked and, the adversity that he's had to come through to even be in Kansas City or even come back to Kansas City. But I feel like, as he's getting older in his career, he's starting to develop a lot more football maturity to where he's like very focused, very direct, very in line with everything that he's doing. He has a different intent to him, and I know that he's hungry and he's a guy that wants to be successful, and he prepares like that. So it's very, very exciting to have him back, man. Looking forward to having him for an entire year healthy and seeing what happens because that's dangerous, man.
Yeah. Mark, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to ask, just talking about like the development of like the younger guys and being kind of the elder statesman. And I know it's draft season, everyone's talking about, and I've seen in the chat, it's like, oh, what young DTs does Mike Pennel wants to draft? And it's like, we do have guys on the roster, and Fabian Lovett's one of them. I'm going to butcher his name, Siaki Ika, I believe that's how you pronounce it. What did talk about those guys? I mean, do you see those guys kind of having a role next year, and just kind of the development of those guys? Have you seen them when they came in to now potentially getting some rotations next year with Wharton gone and just kind of a new roster this year?
I mean, absolutely. The thing about the Chiefs is they're very intentional. So I mean, if they're not going to bring in, I haven't seen many scenarios where a guy's just a camp body. They're really bringing guys to evaluate or people that they see have, all types of, all the intangibles, talents, all types of things to where they can be a player that is successful and produce. So with Fabian, man, he's just extremely athletic. He reminds me a lot of me coming into the league the rookie year, kind of technique a little raw, but he's strong as an ox. He's athletic. He's taking everything seriously every day. He's a guy that's in early. He's taking notes from Chris. He's asking. He literally prepared as if he was playing every week. I know that sounds cliche, and JD would say a lot of guys say that, but this man was literally, giving notes and giving tips to us, and I would be able to bounce off and have conversations with him as a rookie and be like, well, what do you see? I mean, do you see any tips with the alignment, the stance, or anything like that? You see any tendencies that maybe I don't see? And he's very immersive in those conversations. He's very intellectual. He's very, intentional with his preparation. So, Fabian's going to be good, man. I hope that it's here, but if it's not, I know that, everything that he's doing now, it'll set him up to have success in the league. Siaki, he came to us late, but he's a great personality, man. He's a big body. He's explosive with his first step. And he's kind of just a guy that has to hone in on being a dominant player on rundowns, and then he'll be able to have success where he wants to. That takes a little bit of time in this league, but being here, you know, how we prepare, the coaches we got, all you gotta do is sit down and take notes. I mean, I know, you know, I've been in a bunch of places, but being in the Kansas City building, I feel like there's multiple Hall of Fame coaches at every level that we're learning from on a daily basis. And like JD can explain, I mean, that's something that, you know, you can't take for granted. That's something that's not everywhere. We have a head coach that's going to be in the Hall of Fame, a DC that's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and a special teams coach who's going to be in the Hall of Fame that has league-wide respect. So when these guys are speaking and these guys are telling you about techniques, you don't have to second guess it. They've seen the type of player you are. They've seen that there's nothing that you've done that they haven't seen. So it's just, you know, being in that atmosphere like that. And, you know, I just try to tell a lot of the guys, you know, just absorb everything, you know, whatever a coach is telling you. And, you know, everybody is approachable. I mean, I've never seen, you know, like he said, the Hunt family, they know everyone's name. I mean, Clark's come to, he said, "Al, my son doing." I'm kind of like, whoa. They'll come shake our hands right before the game. But it's like that with our coaches as well. We'll be at lunch, and you see, you know, an assistant D-line coach meeting up with the linebackers, what they see. Everybody is integrated. Everybody is immersive in the game, the technique, or what else they can see from everywhere. So we'll have lunch, we'll have breaks, and nobody's going anywhere. Everybody's talking football. And that's like a real it's just crazy that everybody, you know, is on the same mission. We don't have, you know, star players that have their own agenda. Everybody wants to win. Our stars want to win, so it's easy to trickle down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a special place, man. I'm just happy to be a part of it, trying to be a part of it as long as possible.
Man, you can see the friendships and the relationships y'all developed. You know, just how y'all interact with one another. Like you were saying too, like just the egos. It doesn't seem like anybody sitting over there feel like they better than anybody else. It feels like everybody wants everybody else to be successful, and I think it's what it starts at the top. No question about it. I had Andy when I was coming in. Andy was a tight end coach with the Green Bay Packers. My last year in Philly was Andy's first year in Philly. I left Philly, came to Kansas City. So I've known Andy for a long time, you know, like I said, and of course Spags, you know, his defense up in New York and stuff, went against Stray and all them dudes for a minute. But you said a good thing there. I think the cachet of the coaches that you have, right, is incredible. I don't think there's any other staff out there that's like it in NFL. And so when we sit there, we talk about not just players in itself, we're not just talking about the organizations, but we're talking about also two coaches, okay, and the pedigree that they come from, the years that they've known. Like you said, you could take everything they tell you to the bank. Like you said, there's no second guessing this. I mean, Joe gonna know. Joe, you ain't gonna listen to Joe. I'm like, man, who's not gonna listen to Joe? If Joe tell you something to do, how you not gonna listen to that, man? Like seriously, right? You don't think Spags know what he's talking about over here? You know, it's like, I don't think so. No, man, come on, no, like, yo, young fella, listen, this man right here. Do you know who he's coached and what he's done?
Yeah,
yeah. So let me ask you this, Mike. I always ask this players. What would you tell a young Mike Pennel, a young player like yourself coming into the league right now? What would be maybe the main thing you would tell yourself when you got into the league?
Now, is this now like, do I have NIL before, or this is like, oh, Mike, when it was 420? Because these guys' mentality is a little different right now.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
It started off a little different than we started off.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You're right. You're right on that. You're right. Okay, so I'll do a caveat for that. So I say, you know, no NIL. You still just make it, you know, regular money. You know what I mean? Just coming in. Okay.
All right. For me, man, I would just project patience. Patience and confidence. Because with me, you know, I was so impatient when I came in my rookie year. I wanted to play immediately. I thought I was better than I was. I didn't really sit in like work on my technique and watch film how I was supposed to. So I would express to myself, be patient and be confident. If you believe that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, or you feel you're going to do in the NFL, then go to every day and work like you're supposed to. And I think that from my rookie year would have helped a lot more because there would have been a lot more things in my first 1 to 3 that I would have taken more seriously. That didn't take me until year 7 to take seriously. So patience and confidence, man, because in this league to stick around, you have to be confident in yourself. And confidence come with that work ethic. So if you're not putting in the work, you know that it's not happening on the field. How can you be confident in your play? So it's good to see that, you know, what's the work you put in from the years you're jumping from 1 to 2 to 3, you know, your body's getting different, your mind, your reaction time on the field is different. Now you know coverages, now you know stances, now you know situations. You have to just keep on progressing. You have to keep on having that confidence and patience that's going to get, you know, a little easier for you as you go because now you know what to do. But, I mean, when you continue to put in the same work, then it becomes easy. It becomes mundane. It's just something that you normally do. And that's just something that I would always tell my younger self to do because there could have just been I could have just been way better than I was earlier. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful for how I was, but patience and confidence, man.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's exactly it, man. You know, I tell people all the time, it's not arrogance, it's confidence. You got to have confidence in the things that you can do. You have to have it. And like you said, patience in itself goes into it, right? Because, you know, everybody comes up there, everybody's good, but he's just like, man, look, I done knocked the joker on his butt plenty of times. I can do this over here. And it's just finding that right timing to get in to kind of the flow and whatnot. I say that the Chiefs, man, kind of reinforced you know, your value, man, when they came back to come get you. They was like, look, man, this is the guy that we need. Mike is all of that. And so it also too reinforces the confidence that you have in your ability of just knowing that.
And that is the most validating thing that you can get as a player that's late in your career because, you know, you might have opportunity as a younger player. They might be like, we have time to develop you. But when you get older and, you know, how the contract, and JD knows how the contract is set up and how your, you know, salary cap hit is set up, if you're not valuable on and off the field, you're not going to be there. So having the validation from, you know, Veach, Spags, Coach Reed, because no decisions are made on their own. Everybody's a collective there. There's no, as you know, there's places where there's different, everybody makes a decision. Everybody knows who's in there, who's coming out. So to have that confidence, you know, that shows right there. It just only makes me want to work harder. I mean, like I said, Hall of Fame coaches that believe in you. You're not a football player that don't get you up, man. I don't know what you're playing for, man. That's like that right there. Where it's like, okay, Coach Reed and you know Spags and Joe Cullen got confidence in me to do this at this time. So
you got to love it. I mean, when you start 11 to 12 years, you got to love what you do.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't be out there just half stepping and okay, man, I'm just kind of going to work. No, it's none of that, man. You got to love the game in itself, and you got to love the people that you're around. And so I could tell, man, by the way that you speak about the organization, your fellows that's all right there with you, all your warriors that you play with, man, that you love it. You love them, man, and it just shows, Mike. It really absolutely shows. So, man, I tell you, man, I'm just so happy, brother. I'm so happy, man, that we got you for another year at least. You know what I'm saying? So hope we get you for a little bit longer. I don't know how long you want to do it for. You know, that's all up to you.
Until KC stop calling, we gonna keep answering. I'm trying to tell you. So that's just, you know, and I'm just, you know, and I've spoken with my family. You know, my kids are older now. They're able to be at everything, and just now it's just like, you know, it's my son motivating me to go. Oh, we still playing football. We still playing Kansas City. Yeah. So we got to do it. So, you know, if I'm able to, you know, be successful, I am on the field, do everything I can in the locker room, and the franchise and the coaches still believe in me to come back for year 13, by all means, I'm there. By all means.
Yes, sir. There you go, man. All right, everybody out there, y'all heard it here first, man. Y'all heard it here first. So,
oh yeah. Hey, Chief Kingdom know how I'm rocking, man. You know I believe.
Yes, oh yeah.
Come on, now. I left and wanted to come back for 2 years. Stop playing, yeah. Y'all know how. Come on, now. You know it's real when you on another team and you come on. Yeah, you know how it's. So I'm calling the locker room still. Stas, what's going on? How y'all doing, man? Yeah,
right.
Like, it's good, man. Yeah, man. Just it's good to be back, man. For real.
Was there any, obviously, you know, for agency, you know, you have teams calling you and whatnot, but like, was there any doubt that you weren't going to come back to Kansas City, or was that always kind of the plan? Or
well, you know, agents and players are different, but you know, my plan and how I spoke, you know, we have a very transparent, you know, relationship. You know, with Kansas City, from the coaches to the GM. You know what I mean? So I asked them. They know I wanted to continue to play. They know the things I wanted to do. But obviously, you have to be, performing at a level to where they need you at that point. This is the NFL. This is not for long league, so they don't just give you a handout. So there were a couple of people interested, but the situation here, knowing the system, knowing what's expected of me, and I mean, you're not going to turn down playing with Pat Mahomes. I mean, so being in that aspect, we're always in the mix, and being that it was my brothers, there was no other way that I seen it playing out where I wasn't going to be in Kansas City. So I appreciated their interest. My agents, we did their filters, but I was waiting on KC the whole time.
It's good, man. That's it. Tell you what's when I made my decision. My last contract I made. I said, look, I told the GM, I said, look, man, hey, hey, this is what it's gonna be. I said, either I'm coming in, I'm gonna put more stuff in my locker, or I'm leaving out of here. But you know where I want to be, right? And I said, it's
and that's
at the end
the
of
most
the day,
things right there, man. That feeling you talking. That's it right there, man. That's it. This is, being needed and wanted, and the work that you're putting in. It's a transparent conversation. A lot of these guys don't go to the table as much as an undrafted free agent or a journeyman would be in the NFL. You got to understand, you're on 6-7 different teams. That's 6-7 different times you're going to the table. 6-7 different times you have to talk to a GM about your flaws, your defects, your positives, your age, your injury history, all that. So when you're able to reach a point, in a place where you can sit there and be like, what are we going to do? And it's very transparent, no games.
Yeah, right.
And that's a blessing right there. That's a blessing.
Yeah. Because then all of a sudden it's in your hands. That's it. It's your hands, really.
And that's all we want.
That's right, brother. That's right, man. So.
Well, we're happy to have you back, Mike, and we love having you on. I mean, I think we could have you on for the entire episode to talk all season, social media trends going on. We can talk all that with you.
I'll definitely be back, man. Just let me know when. I'll definitely be back.
Absolutely. Can you do me a favor, one solid for me, real quick?
Yes, sir.
My grandson's birthday today. I just left his party, giving him a present. Can you say happy birthday to my grandson Avery? He's watching this thing right now.
Hey, Avery, what's going on, man? Happy birthday, brother. Have a good one. Live it up. Go Chiefs.
That's it, man. Yo, Mike, man, I appreciate it, brother. Seriously, man. I tell you what, man, it's been an absolute joy to have you on the show for tonight, man, and definitely come back. Definitely come back. I know hopefully I'll be out there. I'll probably see you sometime, man, because I'm going to try to get out there, man, for either training camp, man, or one of those things, man. I'll stop by, come see you. You know what I'm saying? Show you some love and all of that, man. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, man, you might have to send me a couple of those cutoff shirts, man. I'm gonna have to get back in the gym, man. Get myself back together, get them right. So, the way you rocking them,
I got you, brother. Oh, man.
Yeah. But look, man, everybody on here, man, in the chat, man, is to tell you, man, thank you for your time, man. Hope you have a blessed and successful season. Blessings to you, my brother. Hey, go out there and just rock it out. Keep doing your thing, Mike, man. You're doing a great job. I'm telling you what, one of the unsung heroes. I don't say I'm an unsung hero. I think you're a hero on the team. I know what you do. I know what your impact is. I know your value. The Chiefs see it. They know it. All your family, everybody else know who you are, what you've done. You know what I mean? And so I just want to let you know, man, it's not being unnoticed. It's not.
Super Bowl legend to many of us. The Chiefs can call you Super Bowl legend the way you threw around Trent Williams. So
I appreciate you, brother. You know that's on the highlight forever in life. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta love it. I was like, hey, I love it too, you guys. It's on replay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, man. Yeah, that's in there, man. All right,
Mike. Well, I'll definitely reach out again to have you on at some other time, but really appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate you guys too.
All right, Mike. Appreciate it, man. Take care, brother.
Mike.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Well, I mean, he was already one of my favorite players on the team before this interview. I think I saw somebody, Millie Matrix said they have to get a Mike Pennel jersey, and I think I'm with them. I think I'm gonna have to get a Mike Pennel jersey. I think it's time, JD. I don't think I have the arms for it, but I'm trying to get back in the weight room to get my summer body right. So you know what? I think a number 69 Mike Pennel jersey is gonna look good on me. I think I have to do it now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I told you, man. I'm a huge fan, man, and even now, so. Just seeing in his personality and everything, man, he confirms exactly who he is, who I thought he would be. And so it's just great to hear a guy like him who has, the amount of years that he's been able to do it at a high level for as long as he's been able to do it, just speaks volumes about the type of player he is, the type of person that he is, and personality. And sometimes, Marcus, everybody talks about on the field things, which are it's vital, it's important. And he's been able to do all those things as far as with the Chiefs. But another thing that he gives is his personality, which also is at a high level, like people seek it out. They covet guys like that. Having a Mike Pennel on your squad and on your team to help these younger players understand exactly what it means and what to be as a professional and as a player, dude, you can't put a price tag on that. You can't. You could try, but for somebody like him, shoot, man, he's an invaluable piece for the Chiefs, and that's exactly what the Chiefs understood by signing Mike. And I'm so happy and so thankful that they did that. So.
Yeah, and I loved hearing him say that. It seemed like no matter what kind of offer he's getting out there, it seemed like he wanted to come back to Kansas City regardless. And also, I love the fact that he is a lifelong Chiefs fan. I think that's awesome. And again, kind of, getting into the whole thing, it's like, guys like that aren't talked about enough, right? We hear people talk about box scores, all that stuff, but we don't really know the human side of Mike Pennel. We don't ever get to hear that, and I think that might play a part to why people don't want to bring guys like that back, because you don't really know them. But dude, this guy's grew up in Colorado, but he was born in Topeka. This guy's a Chiefs fan. The guy, when we were talking beforehand, usually you guys don't see this stuff, but before we have guests on, I'm talking to these guys backstage, and I'm like, JD, did you watch the Chiefs? Like, no, I didn't really watch Chiefs growing up, whatever. It's like, okay, well, JD, played for the Chiefs back in the day. When I said to him, he said, yeah, I know JD. I was watching the Chiefs back in those days. So, because okay, well, there you go. This guy knows his Chiefs stuff. And he said, yeah, the young guys, they need to brush up on their film. They need to watch old football. That's this guy is a lifelong Chiefs fan, man. I think it's so cool. Man. That only adds to his whole the whole lore of Mike Pennel.
Oh yeah. Well, that just tells me, man, that he's home. He has high football IQ. I just recognized it was some good ball back there, man. And I know when he said he moved out to Colorado, they was probably giving the business, but I know he was holding his own, man, at that time. So you can just tell, man, that Mike is he's a super guy, totally, just all the way around. And so, for somebody like him, man, you just love to have him on your squad. But I mean, that for me to sit there and say he watched me, I was like, oh wow, okay, shoot, it made me feel good. I was like, it's just kind of one of those things, that you see that sometimes your legacy and things that you show, kind of other people do get to see it. And I'll say this, it's almost kind of the same thing. And this is why I appreciate guys like Mike is, for me, I didn't get a whole lot of catches, so when you look at my stats, they're like, well, what kind of player was you? Didn't catch a whole lot of balls. So I'm like, well, when I was folding up defensive ends and linebackers, that was my job. I catch a ball or a bone here every once in a while, but I was out there playing. I was out there manhandling jokers. So that's what they asked me to do. And so, it don't always show on the stat line, but the coaches, the players, heck, the defenses went against, they would always talk about, Dunn, hey, man, we recognize you. Know what we're doing out there. And I guarantee it's the same thing with Mike, where he don't show up on the sacks or the stat line. I'll watch him. I see him. I say, man, watch how Mike is doing it. Look how he's destroying his guard. Look how he's helping keep, the guard and the tackle and the backs off the linebackers. I mean, when you have a big guy up front like that, it's able to just destroy the line centers and guards, man, it makes Bolton those linebackers' jobs a lot easier. It does. So I think everybody needs to take their hats off, man, to a Mike Pennel, really. And all the guys up there on the line of scrimmage, on the defensive line. Because there's a lot of guys out there, man, do a whole lot of work. But, Mike was a guy that I think we needed to talk to hear from, and just hear from him, talk about him. I know we brought up a Menahu and stuff like that and some of the younger guys. But Mike, man, when he answered all those questions, Marcus, I mean, I was just like, daggone, this guy's got it. I mean, he could easily go into coaching right now immediately and make an impact.
Honestly, I probably wasn't going to ask him about the young guys when he started talking about the development of young guys and wanting to be a coach. I'm like, so I'm sure he's going to have a really good answer talking about some of the young guys who are in the room who we haven't drafted, right? But we have some young guys in the room, which a lot of people are forgetting about. But like, I was like, okay, he's talking about development of young guys being that leader. Like, okay, so might as well ask him about the young guys in the room. And he, amazing answer. Yeah. And also, I love the fact, too, I didn't even think about this. You don't really see a lot of Mike Pennel interviews yet. We see the press conferences that he does with the Chiefs, but him saying he kind of lurks in the shadows, doesn't really do the whole media stuff. And the fact that he said he watches our stuff and listens to your analysis on things, that tells us a lot about what we're doing here at Chief Concerns, that we are getting noticed by the players there. And that was nice to hear him say that about the show and hearing your analysis, JD.
It's good. Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. Because, I'm going to sit over here. I'm going to speak the truth, man. But all the, the things that Mike's been showing out on film, man, I've been appreciating every little thing he does. Seriously. So
yeah,
that was a good thing, man.
We keep it honest, and we're not no clickbait, none of the stuff that a lot of people put out there to get a lot of views. Like, yeah, some of our stuff gets views, some of it doesn't, but all the stuff is 100% real, and we no clickbait nonsense.
That's a fact. It's a fact, man. We ain't faking no funk over here, not at all, not at all. So.
And shout out Avery. Happy birthday, buddy. I know you don't really care about getting a happy birthday from me, but you got one from Mike Pennel tonight, so that's pretty sweet.
Too, man. Hey, man, come on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Avery loves you. Mark, I
don't have two Super Bowl rings on my fingers, JD. I will say that was awesome. Mike Pennel giving Avery a shout out there. But happy birthday, Avery. I hope you have a good one, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it. I know he appreciates it. So, it's good. John Harrison said Mike was bigger in Super Bowl 58 than people realize. He was blowing up the Niners O-line. He was. He absolutely was. And if you have any doubt, go back and go check it. Go watch what it was that he was actually doing. Like you said, that one is going to live in infamy is the one where he takes
Super Bowl legend because of that play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Trent, man, and puts him on his tail. I don't know how many guys have done that. I don't know if that's on film anywhere else. But I tell you what, that right there is on tape, on film, and it is going to be in the books on Super Bowl. All the time you start running these things back, sure. Mike got him some good film right there, baby. What up, Nat? What up, little cuz? Yeah, Nat. So.
Which you all best offseason interview I've seen so far. Loved it. Yeah, and I will say, I think that helps us on this show when we do get players to come on is you, JD. You make the players feel so comfortable. I know these guys go on ESPN, all these networks and stuff, people who have no idea what's going on. A, about some of these are people who didn't play the game, and B, people who did not play in Kansas City don't really understand the true what's going on inside Arrowhead and all that stuff that's going on in Kansas City. And I think you make a lot of these players, whether it be young players, be guys, and they're going into their 12th year like Mike Pennel, you just make these guys feel comfortable, JD. And I think that's a big shout out to you, man.
Well, brother, man, look, it's a brotherhood. It really is. And we, as players, we know what each other's been through. We know what everything, the rigmarole is. The dog days on the summer, during the off season, trying to get ready. And so you say when you inside a locker room, man, it is a family. It is absolute a family. And so when I know guys have been in the league, I don't care if you played, one down or 1,000 downs in the league, man, you're a part of a brotherhood that a lot of people just wouldn't have been able to accomplish. And so for a guy like Mike and everybody else that comes on here, hey man, we in the locker room. That's what it is. So those guys out there, they're my brothers. They're my brothers. And so that's how I view it. That's how I see it, because that's what it is. So yeah, man, I just see the joy of Mike's face, man, because it's kind of funny because I know he brings you back to the locker room so much for a guy that's playing, just brings you back there. And I, had to come back from my coach's hat sometimes when I hear those things. But like Mike was saying, those guys are all tight together. Now I'm sitting over here, I'm getting text messages from, guys I play with at this moment. The 2003 team, we get on, we text together, but it's a family. It's a family, no doubt about it, man. And you learned a lot of that in Kansas City. You do.
Yeah, to hear what you guys said about the Hunt family, I thought that was really cool. How you said Lamar Hunt would know your names. You told me that story before, but then hearing him say the same kind of things happening now, it just tells you a lot about the Hunt family.
That's right. That's the truth. Yeah, that's who they are. No question about it. That's who they are. So,
yeah. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys had all tremendous comments in there. You guys kept it rated PG tonight, so that's good. Good job, guys, in the chat tonight.
Richie said, "Oh, the Spags would love to have him in the coaching tree." Yeah, Spags would love to have Mike. Come on, man, Mike would be perfect.
This is funny. So a few things on this. So Tasia texted me saying if JD ever meets Mike Pennel, he wants you to, and he posted the GIF in our conversation that he wants you and him to reenact the scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger sees Carl Weathers for the first time in Predator when they do the Dylan Dutch, and they have that. He wants you two to do that because you guys have huge arms. Yeah. And then Amda says, you guys see the video of Pennel versus JD, who has the best cannonball pool splash between the two of you guys. And GP says Pennel would work JD in the cannonball.
Oh yeah, I think Mike got me on that one. Sure. I tell you what, one thing I could do, Amda Brand, I could dive. I don't do too many cannonballs. I could do a nice little jackknife though. So, yes, sir.
I see that.
Yes, sir. JD, you meant to be a tight end coach. Appreciate it, Mary. Yeah, that's what I was. And so, I coached a lot of different positions, but yeah, tight end, man, it's just in my blood. But I'm just like football. I mean, once you're a coach, man, you just kind of you just what drives guys. You know how to try to get the most out of them. But like Mike was saying so elegantly about personalities and how you relate to them and helping younger guys out to achieve the things that they want to be able to achieve. And he was just talking about technique wise, but also too off the field. And so, just hear that, man. It's just what a wonderful interview. Good interview, man.
And also, I want to commend him on this as well. We talked earlier. I told him about it being a 15-minute maybe interview. Ends up being on here for about a half hour. And I was talking to him about 10 minutes before the interview starts. So, in the media world, be it politics, be it sports, be it entertainment, some of these people are celebrities, right? They're in the public eye. They can be very. I gotta get out of here. None of that. I mean, he probably could have stayed on for another 15 more minutes doing the interview with us tonight. So, that's also another side to this whole thing as well. What you see in the video we showed you guys a couple weeks ago about him, at the Super Bowl, the buffet and all that stuff, that is who he is, and that says so much about Mike Pennel. So, awesome guy.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, JD, I don't think you got a chance to say hi to everybody in the chat tonight yet because we went to the interview.
Yeah, the chat was rolling. Glad to see y'all in here. What's up, Timmy G123? Back at it again. Yes, we are. Marion Oliver, appreciate it, my guy. KC Colossus, 2000 team is my number one favorite season. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for saying that. Witchy Hall, what's going on? Appreciate you, Witchy, for all the things you've been saying. G Pick is in the house. Pennell will work JD in Cannonball. Yes, he would. He'd beat me in the Cannonball for sure, G Pick. No doubt about it. I'm the Brown. Did you guys see the video of Pennell versus JD and who has the best cannonball pool splash? The barbershop have a lot of respect for Mike Pennell. Does all the dirty work that goes unnoticed. That's a fact. Barbershop. No question about it. I think sometimes, man, that's what that gets me hot, under the hood, Marcus. Is
JD? Okay.
When you
JD, I don't know if I'm glitched or you're glitched on this one. Can you guys in the chat tell me if I'm glitched or is JD glitched? Okay, yeah, it was JD then. All right, so JD will be joining us in a second. Yep, yeah, it was JD's end. Okay. All right, that's cool. JD will be joining us back on in a second. Just a technical difficulty. Hey, at least it didn't happen during the Pennell interview. That's huge. That's huge. But yeah, I gotta say, talk about. I saw that one comment here about 2003 season. That was a very for a lot of people who didn't grow up, who like me, myself, I guess my generation didn't really remember the early 90s stuff because I was born in 93. But I will say the 2003 team and hearing Mike Pennel talk about that tonight was really cool to see, to kind of grow up in that same era to watch JD. I thought that was awesome. JD, I think you lagged out there.
Okay. All right. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good right now. Yeah, that didn't happen at all during the interview with Mike. So that was the first time that happened.
All right. Let me change my volume up here. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. But I was just saying, like for for guys like Mike not having those, being an unsung hero, where people are like, trying to down him because they sitting there saying they don't have the stats, man. It's just not true. It isn't, the impact and stuff. And so, when you're being recognized for, your contribution on the team, that says volumes to it. The Chiefs understood it. The Chiefs not going to bring back somebody they didn't feel like was valuable. They did just not. So,
yeah, I mean, like we talked about, right? Like that stats aren't indicative of a person's play. That's why you watch film. And, talking to guys like, me talking to, would be you guys professionally or guys in college and guys when I played ball, D2 and D3, the film doesn't lie. Box scores say one thing, right? A guy can have 10 tackles, but that's not because he's getting good. It's because the dudes in front of him were good. All he was there was to clean up the play at the end. But like, that's the reason why you watch film, to see things like that. And Pennel has been all that a bag of chips since we brought him back. Even the first time around, he was solid with those. So, but what he's been doing for the last few years with us, insane. Also, it's his best, coming off his best season after 11 years in the league. And I think that's saying something too about the guy. He's progressing still at age 32 or however old he is now. Something that tells you so much about the guy, about his will and want to get better and better. And this is a guy who's getting better at age 32. I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah. And that, I mean, shoot. And he was just talking about the hard work that he puts in, just during off season, things that he's doing down like Pilates and stuff. But I mean, seeing a big guy like that walking to Pilates class, because you usually think Pilates is, women doing, kind of those things, kind of their deal. And here come Big Mike walking in. They're like, wait a minute, hold on, you might be in the wrong class. It's like, no, this is where I'm here to be.
This is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Lonnie Pyramid, what's up, my guys? Hope all is well as always. Kingdom, what's up, Lonnie? Everything's good here, my brother. Good here, man. So,
see some people trickle in for the first time. I saw Enrique just came in. Lonnie just came in. If you guys just came in, definitely I would go back. And you'll catch up to where we are, but go back to the beginning of the episode and watch the interview with Mike Pennel. It was some good stuff, so you guys will definitely enjoy that. So definitely go back and rewind the episode of that. You'll catch up to where JD and I are going next, but you got to watch the interview with Mike Pennel. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
So JD, you ready? You ready again? I always love. We've done the show. I think we had one of the first times we had Nazio. I think we did like a full talking about like some of the off-season stuff with Nazi. I think that was one of the first times we had it, but like, it was interesting to hear what they had to say about the stuff that's going on right now. But we're gonna get into some of the off-season speak to talk about what happened, what's been going on for the last few days. And this is a very interesting one that I didn't know about. I saw that became a big thing within the Tennessee Titans world. I knew nothing about this whole thing that L'Jarius Sneed went through. I knew he got hurt last year. Barely played, but I didn't know he was going through some stuff off the field, which they ended up cutting him, which is very interesting. Yeah. So we'll get into it right now. So last offseason, the Chiefs obviously traded cornerback L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans for a 2025 third-round pick, which will convey this year, and had two swapped 2024 seventh-round picks. While he appears to be on track for a healthy 2025 season, Sneed now finds himself in hot water off the field with the law. He's facing charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon following a shooting at a Texas car dealership. According to NFL insider Albert Beer, the Titans could end up releasing him because of the situation, and the signals the Chiefs could bring him back if they do. Quote, how the Tennessee Titans handle L'Jarius Sneed as he faces charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon over a December shooting at a Texas car dealership will be interesting, since new GM Mike Bergonzi was actually a part of trading him away from the Kansas City Chiefs a year ago. Kansas City, for the record, really, really liked him, but was nervous about his bulky knee, which I think that's what ended up he missing most of the season last year for because of his knee issue. And he says, it's a speculation. I bet they bring him back if the Titans were to end up cutting L'Jarius Sneed. Obviously, they cut him. They can, pick him up at, I don't know what it would be. Because if a guy's cut from an arrest, JD, is that what happens to his contract? Does the Titans end up taking the hit for that?
I mean, it could be contract detrimental to a team. So you could almost litigate and say that he's forfeiting some of the money that they don't have to pay him, depending on how they look at it. Or let's say in court that they try to, like I said, try to litigate, maybe saying some different things like that. But I don't know. That is crazy. So you said it was a shooting at a car dealership? So what did it get into, like the details of saying he was involved, he done the shooting, or what? What is it? You know, because this is the first I've ever heard of this. I haven't heard of this, Marcus.
I had zero clue. But all I knew was that we traded him. He barely played last year. That is it. That's all I knew. Yeah. And apparently this happened in December. It just shows you how like different worlds the Chiefs are in the football world versus the Titans, that we weren't even like thinking about this. But yeah, apparently there's Mike Price says it here. Car dealership has security cameras. They have it all on tape. Wishy Hall says no bullet holes on cars or anything. So like, yeah.
So it was him shooting.
I don't know if it was. I think he was there at the time.
Shooter leaned out the window and let shots fly. Okay. But Mike, is it saying that he was a shooter or he was just involved? He was in the car with the guys, or were they shooting at him? It sounds a little murky. I don't know what this whole thing is. So you're saying, I mean, $1 million lawsuit is part of what's going on. I don't know. Maybe somebody could send an article, somebody over to me. Let me see. I'm going to look it up.
All right, so I looked it up real quickly. L'Jarius Sneed, defensive backs for the Tennessee Titans, is facing a $1 million lawsuit stemming from an incident at a car dealership in Carlton, Texas. Christian Nishimiya, who was inside a Mercedes-Benz in the lot, claims that Sneed or Sneed's personal assistant opened fire on him. No one was hit, but the lawsuit alleges aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So they don't know if it was him or his personal assistant was the one who fired shots at him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, by saying that, then, well, shoot. Oh man, there's a lot there with that, because you don't know who did what. I mean, they say in video that it's coming out, they haven't identified him as a shooter. They're saying it could be him or maybe his personal bodyguard, or who knows who this guy is. But,
yeah, the Carlton Police Department arrested Sneed and his accomplice for the same charge. But the fact that he's being sued for it, so there's no he's not getting there's no fee. I mean, there's no he has to serve time or anything for it. I mean, it's interesting. It's a lawsuit, not really a criminal charges.
Well, see that, and that's one thing they'll do. They'll go after the guy, that they know who has some money, like a Sneed, who's well known. When you get into situations like this off the field, they're gonna go after you. They're gonna go after you, and it always happens. You can be with a number of guys, okay, and something happens that you're with the guys around, and it's like, oh, you're an accomplice, right? Here's his accomplice. Well, they'd be like, well, that was Sneed and other guys that was around him, and they'd be like, well, Sneed was there. Okay, we're gonna go get Sneed, because Sneed should have been able to control those guys. Stuff like, hey, shoot, don't put that on Sneed. Sneed, he's like, look, I don't know what happened. I don't know who was shooting. I didn't tell nobody to shoot. So why would you go after me? And then you said if there's no charge of this, like Witchy Hall, you said there was no charges on him. Then
I don't.
Civil suit? You know what I'm saying? Like trying to go for $1 million. They ain't trying to put him in jail, but let's go for the money.
More here, it says allegations. The lawsuit alleges that Sneed and a woman identified Sneed's mother threatened Naishima, telling him not to cooperate with the police or hire an attorney. So there's that. And then also Sneed's response to the whole thing has been going through the Titans. So the Titans spokesperson said the team is aware of the matter and have been in contact with the NFL security per league protocol. So not much on it. But the fact that Albert Breer's reporting this, that they could end up cutting him because of the situation, is that, and also,
I don't know. I want to go. It had to be a lot more there before saying that. Okay. Because just going to say they'll cut him for something like this, if he's not the one that was doing the shooting, it was somebody around him. I don't think, why would you get rid of somebody like that, right? Maybe it was just a bad actor that was attached to him. So I'm always leery to say things of that nature of coming, say, oh man, they get rid of Sneed. Well, wait a minute, hold on. He has no criminal charges. Has everything came out to say it was him? They was doing the shooting and whatnot. That's, there's a lot, man, that everybody, you gotta pump your brakes a little bit on those things. You know what I'm saying? Especially by saying that. But see, Marcus, this is what we was talking about before. Everybody wants to be the first gun there. I'm not trying to, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Be the first one.
Tasia joke right there.
Yeah. Be the first one to say something. Let's let everything play out before we get to the place. It's almost like the young lady was talking about Bond. When you was talking about him and some of the things he's going through.
Yeah.
And he's just somebody who's trying to get into the league. You like, man, do like this. You gotta get your life together before anything else happens. So
talking about obviously this is a distraction on the field. We don't know if he's done it, his involvement in it, right? We don't know what exactly his involvement is with this whole thing. When a new regime comes in, right? It's a new regime in Tennessee, new GM and whatnot. Is that something that could be something where like they may want to cut bait if they, with him because of this situation? Maybe they know more than what is out there. I don't know, but like when it comes to teams that are kind of sputtering teams like Tennessee, like they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Is that something like, what? New GM, we're drafting our quarterback in the future this year. Like we don't want to deal with this, let the whole thing play out, but we're gonna cut a guy. Could that be something? Because Breer's pretty respected insider to be saying that they potentially could be cutting him because of this.
Well, potentially going to get cut, and there's potential for a lot of different things. But let's just say they did,
right?
And it came out that it wasn't really Sneed that did this. It could be somebody that was with Sneed, or the dude saying it wasn't really him. Well, you can't take no money from Sneed then. Sneed gets all the guaranteed money and stuff like that he did. It wouldn't be contract detrimental to him. And so they would still be on the hook to pay him X amount of money for that. And so, the Titans would have to pay Sneed some of that money. The contract, the guarantee would still be his, okay? Because then it wouldn't be conduct detrimental to the team, okay? You're just saying, okay, we just want to cut bait and get away from. Okay, fine, you can do that, but you still got to pay the man. So that's my take on it. My thing is, who was saying? Did you say that his mom or somebody said don't get a lawyer? Why wouldn't you retain a lawyer for something like this?
Yeah, the thing I saw here. I didn't click on the
was there. McCaffrey said when I was reading that last one.
Oh, sorry.
No. They said the proof is there. There is video surveillance from the dealership showing the car and the person who opened fire on Christian. We want to know why this happened. We're thankful no one was shot, but we continue to search for the reason behind this incident. So McCaffrey also accused Sneed and a woman who identified herself as Sneed's mother of calling and threatening Nishiyama afterwards, wanting him to not cooperate with the police or retain an attorney. So he's saying but not saying, and this seems like lawyer talk to me. This is exactly how the attorneys speak, because he's not saying that Sneed was the guy that shot out. You're not saying that. And so if you're seeking damages of $1 million, that looks like you're just trying to get a payday. You're not saying Sneed was the one that shot at this guy. So I don't know, man. This is all messy. It's all messy. Dang God. Shoot.
Yeah, I just don't understand how it's just, it happened in December, and now in February they're coming out with a lawsuit to sue him. So was there never any charges put against him? Like that. Yeah, that's all they never. The whole civil versus criminal aspect of things. When something's not criminal and then people get sue off something like that, that just never makes much sense to me. I've always been kind of like just not perplexed by it in a way how that makes sense. How someone's not getting charged criminally for something and they get to sue them for something.
See, it's what McCaffrey says. Regardless, the unprovoked, aggravated assault of my client with a deadly weapon is part of a pattern of behavior from Mr. Sneed. Really? Have you known anything else for Sneed to pull out a gun and shoot and stuff like that? And he must be held responsible for his actions so they do not happen again. Drew Boucher said it all comes down to whether criminal charges are being filed against him. And I don't know, Drew, I don't see anything as far as like anything being filed against. The only thing I hear is it's a lawsuit of $4 million, not criminal charges, if I'm not mistaken, Drew. If y'all see that, say Zulu says civil, not criminal. So that tells me, man, like, yo, like, you're going after Sneed. You probably didn't know who he was, but now somebody says Sneed, they identify him around different people. Now you want to go after him and his money. That's crazy. Shoot. I tell you what, somebody shoot at me, Marcus. Cops, come get that sucker. Come get him. Now, how about that? You come get this joker.
I do kind of remember this. So I guess what she's pointing to, the lawyer, McCatherine, L'Jarius Sneed was not charged with any crime after his car was shot in Louisiana in May 2022, according to multiple sources. While he was briefly questioned and detained at the scene, police did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. The shooting was believed to be random, and two of his friends were in the car at the time. So I guess that the pattern behavior, I guess that being around gunshots, I don't know.
Come on, that's a stretch.
It's a stretch. Yeah, it's a big time stretch.
Dude,
pattern behavior is technically if someone has accused him of shooting before, then that's a pattern behavior. That's not the same thing at all. Yeah.
Right. She's trying to weave things together. Tell you, lawyers, boy, them jokers right there. Woo! Well, lie they tell off to try to get money.
Yeah. Well, interesting nonetheless. I'm curious to see how this goes.
So Sasha said if they couldn't even find probable cause, they're going to have a tough time tipping the preponderance of evidence in the civil trial. Yeah. Why would he shoot at you? If he didn't know who you were, why do that? So Pono Kawasi, next topic, please. All hearsay. Pono, we're still speaking. But we're moving on. Yeah, we don't know. It's all hearsay. But
if he's released, jump on it. Brett Veach, jump on it. If
yeah, man, we got to see, we got to get himself together too. They got to get that all situated. So
100%.
Pattern to being a target. That's how Amanda Brown said.
Yeah. So next one, this is kind of a guy we've talked about a lot this offseason and over the last few weeks. Well, go back about over a month ago where JD said there's only one left tackle in this draft that he wants that would be worth it. And it was this guy named Josh Simmons from Ohio State. And then a couple of days ago, it was reported the Chiefs, I don't know if they have met with him yet, or it was reported they are meeting with him, but the Chiefs have met with or are meeting with Josh Simmons. This should be by far the highest rated left tackle the Chiefs have met with. All the other ones are undrafted, mid-round guys. None of them are the caliber of Josh Simmons as where he's supposed to be. So JD, we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Albert Breer reported the Chiefs were likely they want Josh Simmons and they want Connerly, but likely those guys are probably not going to be there. Now that Brett Veach has been listening to the Chief Concerns podcast, and now it's cemented that they are interested in Josh Simmons. They listened to JD's stamp of approval on Josh Simmons. How serious do you think the Chiefs are with this whole Josh Simmons kind of situation? Like, do you think it's to the point where if he's available, because some mocks have him going 31 to us, some have him going as early as 15 I've seen. So it's kind of a big range for him because obviously the guy put it on paper that he is a dude. Now, do you think there's a chance the Chiefs, if he's there like 23, 24, the Chiefs could potentially trade up for him? I mean, I guess my whole thing is it's going to come down to Jalen Moore. And I know you said before that Jalen Moore is not going to stop them from getting Joshua Simmons if they think he's the guy. Now, when you see that they are visiting with Josh Simmons, where does that kind of put you now in the kind of, if you had to think in Brett Veach's mind, being Brett Veach's mind a little bit, where are they with the left tackle spot? And do you think there is some considerate interest in Josh Simmons?
I mean, Josh Simmons he's that guy. He really is. In this draft, and I said this, to me, the best left tackle in the draft is Josh Simmons. I know they talk about the guy from LSU, but Josh Simmons would have been a guy if he didn't hurt his, have the patella tear. To me, it made a lot of sense. The way he was able to play, his athletic ability, in pass protection, talking about the pressures he gave up, no sacks during the time. In a run game, he's killing folks. I mean, it makes sense to me. Would they move up? I don't know, possibly. So we don't quite know with Jalen Moore. We got him in because we know that he looked great in the few games that he played. But Josh Simmons is the future, would be a future guy for us. Maybe left tackle, even to the right, because he plays some right tackle as well. So there's a lot of things you could talk about how he could fit into what we do offensively. But I do believe bringing him here, they are very serious. If he is there, I think they will take him. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that they will pass up on a Josh Simmons. I can't see that happening.
Do you think he even falls to 31? Because that's the thing. I've seen so many, right? Like I said, right? And like you said, the guy doesn't get hurt. He's a top 10 pick. Now, a lot of teams know that as well. It's like, oh, well, this guy was going to be a top 10 pick. I'm at pick 14 right now. Our left tackle situation, maybe the guy's off the books in 2 years. Maybe we get that guy now. Potentially, I mean, the guy's got the talent there, right? I mean, but I've seen some people who commented on our YouTube videos, JD, and it said, no way, I'm staying away from Josh Simmons, even if he's there at 31 because of the patella injury. What do you say to that? You've dealt with a lot of knee injuries in your career. I mean, you almost, your career was almost kind of put on hold because of knee injuries. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you're like, oh, patella injury? Yeah, I'm off that. Because, some people, like Achilles injuries. Achilles injuries, like, ooh, that's pretty detrimental. Patella injuries, obviously there's severities to every injury, but with patella injuries too, there's different severities to it. Now, what do you think about that injury? Is that like, that's very worrisome?
Look, this injury in itself came out of nowhere. It's not like he has a history of being injured. So for me, would I take a guy as talented as he is in that he is? I would. I think Joey and also Pono disagree with me. Just talking about this. But if he comes back and he plays well, you give him time because we already got a guy there, Jalen Moore, that is already a starter, and you let him heal up. I think you do take a chance. We've seen other guys who've had the same injury come back and play just as good. That's what I had to look at. You had to look over the history of the NFL, the guys that have actually came back from these type of injuries and played, at a high level. And there's been a few of them that's been able to do that. There's been a few of them. And so because I recognize his talent, how good of he is, the technology is different, it's different, it's better medically. He may be able to come back with no problem. No problem. The question is, do you do it in the first round? Everybody's asking that question. And a lot of teams are saying yes. I'm not the only one. It's just not me saying this. There's a lot of people, a lot of teams, a lot of scouts, a lot of GMs are sitting there saying it about Josh Simmons. Why? Because they understand the talent. You think they haven't done their homework asking the doctors, what is the re-injury rate on something like this? They've done their due diligence, okay? They have. They ask these questions. And guess what? He's still rated a number 1 pick, Marcus, for a reason. So it ain't just me just sitting there saying this because I'm just, whistling, Dixie out my bunghole, but I'm telling you, these guys have been doing the homework. The Chiefs are bringing him in because they see him as a valuable candidate for a first-round pick for us at left tackle, as they should. You can't discount his talent. You just can't. You can't discount it. You look on film and you tell me if there's another left tackle in the time that he was playing against him that did what he did. Okay? I didn't see one. I didn't see anybody who had that type of talent.
Looking at his numbers here, upon transfer to Ohio State, he switched to left tackle position and accumulated over 1,100 snaps of experience throughout the last 2 seasons. In total, he had his 19 games of experience at left tackle. In that span, he allowed 17 total pressures, including 1 sack, according to PFF. And this is Big Ten football, guys. This is the best of the best in college. So, I mean, and a team that passed the ball a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just – there's a reason why he's still rated as one of the top tackles in the league, coming out prospects in 2025. So, we can sit there and say, no, or other people would say, nah, I'll stay away from it. But the Chiefs are doing their due diligence. I'm going to leave it on them and their medical staff. They have a very great staff to do that. They'll figure it out. But if it was me and I'm getting all the information from the doctors and whatnot and saying who's been successful with this, and they saying we think it's to be okay, snap that joker up. Snap him up. Why? Because you may not have a guy next year. You may not get a guy like that next year. And I'm talking like as far as like the talent he's been able to show. Come on, man. Seriously.
Because you're only getting that talent at that pick because people are like, oh, we have bigger needs than a guy who's coming off an injury at left tackle spot. But if we didn't, we jump on this guy. And the fact that he's going to be slipping to 31, and if he didn't get hurt, he'd be a top 10 pick. I mean, that's the juice is worth the squeeze. And because we have Jalen Moore, we don't have to rush him back this coming year. And that's kind of a beauty of it.
Absolutely. Mike Brennan. Mike, well said, Mike. And Mike says right here, if KC drafts Simmons and Deion Walker this draft, they will have 2 top 15 talented players in one draft. Even if they both need one more year to come back 100%. It's worth it, in my opinion. Shoot, mine too. Both of those jokers are very talented guys. Shoot, Deion Walker, last year, his junior year, unstoppable. Couldn't block it. Couldn't stop it. Was the most talented defensive tackle in college football. Should have came out that year. Didn't. End up having a stress fracture, I guess. Same thing here. Josh Simmons, he gets hurt. Can he come back in that 1 year? He's already, from what I've heard, Marcus, that he's ahead of the game as far as him healing himself. So if you're sitting there saying we got a guy here for 2 years and Jalen Moore, okay, and we got a guy that can play both right and left, and Josh Simmons, shoot, why not? Because we don't know what's going to happen with Juwan Taylor. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. So, hey man, I think I would take that chance.
100%. I mean, when you see him being brought in for a visit with us, because of the medicals, and also too, I think what highlights this and what kind of makes this, illustrates this as a more a meaningful visit is the fact that all the other tackles we've looked at, these are all guys who are like third, fourth, maybe undrafted type guys. This is the only one that's like a premier left tackle, and I say premier anywhere from 15 to 31, essentially, in the draft. What do you think this visit's about? Is this more seeing where you are medically kind of visit? Maybe if you had a guess.
I mean, yeah, medically, but also too, they want to see where he is mentally in the whole process as well. So if you're ready to go and your mind is sitting there saying like, hey, look, I'm ahead of the game. They know he's a go-getter. They know he's a positive guy that absolutely exudes confidence and is taking everything serious because they want to know how, his professionalism too. They're like, yeah, man, we like this guy. Gives all the right answers, the way he acts and he carries himself, his demeanor. Shoot, we'll see. This is a guy who was not going to be a problem, who's going to get on the things he needs to get on. Amder Brown said, Chief concerns. Here's the red herring. What if this was a play to get Buffalo to draft Josh Simmons so the Chiefs get the true person they want? Hey, Amder Brown, I'll say this. If the Chiefs had to play those type of games, what's the point? What's the point? I don't know why we keep bringing Buffalo up in a lot of different ways. I just sometimes the attachment to the Buffalo and sometimes the conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I just I don't know. I find it funny, but on the Brown that would be. I don't think it's that deep, brother. I don't.
I think for as long as it's Mahomes and Josh Allen rivalry's going, everyone's going to always connect Buffalo and Kansas City as much as they can. Buffalo fans as well as Chief fans.
Yeah. That's pretty good though. I like how you think.
It's funny. And I want to make a comment here, but Pono, we need to draft a DT with our number 1 pick. We have a major shortfall in that position. If you watch our shows, Pono, which I know you do, you're always on, you know that we are big on the D tackle. That's our number 1 spot that we want to attack in this draft. However, we also said that the tackle draft might be one of the deepest it's ever been, and every expert's saying that, not just us. So, but left tackle is not deep. And now Josh Simmons is one of those top guys you will get, that you should get if he's at your pick at number 31. We're not talking about trading up. We're talking about if he's at 31 and he's there, you take him, and then with your second round, you get the next best D tackle, which the next best D tackle, some say most drafts would be a first round pick. Whereas this draft, there's only like two left tackles to take in this draft. And this is one of them who would have been a top 10 pick if he didn't get hurt. So we're still with you on D tackle being a top priority. Just if Josh Simmons is there, then it's like, okay, is TJ Sanders that much worse than Walter Nolan? No. But is Darius Alexander that much worse than Walter Nolan? No, because you could probably get Darius Alexander in the second round. However, Josh Simmons, is he that much better than the guy we drafted in round 2? Yeah, because I don't even know who that guy would be in round 2.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand with it. So we're all on the same point. JD and I 100% agree with you. D tackle is a big need for us. But if Josh Simmons is there, a talent like that, you don't pass up. That's a juice that's worth the squeeze. So yeah. And Pono, you need to watch our Monday prospect shows. I don't think I've seen you there that much.
Yeah. No, I don't know. But I mean, look, everybody's gonna have their opinion about things. I think the Chiefs, they bring him in for a reason. And we got to think that they're very serious about drafting him in the first round. They're bringing him in, and like this, no question. So they know what they're doing. I'm gonna defer to the Chiefs.
John Harrison, I did hear on another podcast, his inside Arrowhead source told him they've talked to Simmons 3 times once in a visit. So there you go. They talked to him. Yeah, because I've heard they've already talked to him before. I think he said that at the combine or whatnot. But the visit only makes that kind of magnifies this. So I mean. Mm-hmm. Ooh, Zulu. Simmons will not be available at 31, not even 21. Well, there you go. That tells you how big of a talent this is. The guy who's had this crazy patella injury that, he may never be the same again. He still may go in the top 20. I mean, that just tells you how good the guy is. So,
yeah.
All right. So our final topic, JD, I threw this on there. I just was more funny than anything else. Just got a quick take here. So everyone is a big Nick Wright fan. I think everyone's a huge Nick Wright fan. And a couple of weeks after the draft, the last few years, we've been doing AFC West kind of highlights where we talk about what the AFC West teams are doing on their Monday shows, how the different additions they've had. But we'll get into that later on in the offseason. But I did want to just kind of highlight this. So Nick Wright says that the Raiders might be the biggest competition the Chiefs face in the AFC West this coming season, which is kind of interesting because they kind of have an overhaul of a team. This is just after a year where the Chargers and the Broncos were everyone's loving them. But now the Raiders are another team in there, according to Nick Wright. But this is what Nick Wright had to say about the Raiders.
Listen, I think that any team that goes from disaster coach, disaster quarterback to really good coach, good quarterback, that by itself can turn a 4-win team into a 10-win team with no schedule, right? With no other changes. You then add the fact that I think they are at 6 in position to take either him or Tet McMillan, the wide receiver. But let's say it's him.
That'd be interesting.
But I think he might be even a better fit for them given they have Pete Carroll. The reason I said McMillan is because the wide receiving room is their weakest spot on the team. Bowers is awesome. Right. Geno is good. Max Crosby is great. They gave Christian Wilkins a bucket of money last offseason. He was hurt most of the year. I know it's a tough division, obviously, but I absolutely think it is on the board. The Raiders, with a last-place schedule, with a massive upgrade at coach and quarterback, if they get an instant impact running back, one of the few positions you can walk in and be like, oh, he's the 3rd best running back in football immediately. We've seen that from rookies. You know what I mean? When rookies, when they pop, that they absolutely could come in second in the
second in the AFC West is what he finished off saying there. Obviously, JD, I know it's way early on in the offseason to even talk about this stuff, but Raiders, and they've kept Patrick Graham around, the same DC who's kind of given us fits the last 2 years. They've kept him around to be the DC, which tells you a lot. Usually when new regimes come in, they don't usually keep around old staff. They kept Patrick Graham there to be their DC, and he's given us fits the last few years. This past year, our point differential with the 2 games that came down to the wire with the Raiders. What do you make of the Raiders being the kind of competing for the second spot in the AFC West next year?
I think they're legit. I think, I wouldn't put it past them for the simple fact, like you said, Geno Smith upgrades them at quarterback significantly. Pete Carroll at head coach significantly. If they get Genty and go for him, that will help him out. So everybody's racing for second. Let me put it this way. They can all talk about who's going to be second all they want to, Marcus. They really can. I know who's going to be first. It's going to be the Chiefs. So if they're sitting there saying Geno and those guys, yeah, they give them a hell of a chance. A hell of a chance. Same thing with Denver. They've got a good squad, good quarterback, good head coach. Same thing with the Chargers. We understand that. So they have gotten a lot better getting Geno and Pete Carroll there. And if they go for the running back, what they need, that's going to help them out too. Hey, man, they could fight all they want to for number 2. Let them fight. Let them scrap it out. Who's number 1? It's going to be the Chiefs. That's who's going to be number 1. So they can say all they want to about everybody else, man. So what? So be it. Okay? They're going to get better? Sure, they're going to be better. The Raiders always play us tough. We know that. So, and everybody else is coming for us. Everybody's gunning for the Chiefs. They want what we had for the last, I don't know how many years. How many years have we won the AFC West? How many
9?
Is it 9? So
yeah, I think it's 9.
I mean, they try to get everybody. They try to get Devontae Adams. They try to get the best defense out there with the Chargers. You know what I mean? You just name it. So, man, we're going to hit everybody in the mouth. That's how I feel.
Yeah, 9 straight. So,
yeah.
This year's a pretty pivotal year as far as the milestones. 10 years, a decade straight of winning the AFC West for us.
Barbershop, I think we have to watch out for Denver. That's it. We're going to watch out for all of them. They're all a good team. And so now the Raiders they've read up. Now they've gotten a legit quarterback and the head coach. And they will get a nice running back in the draft. Somebody said about Browers, they talk about the other guy.
Yeah, and I think coaching that. I mean, this is one thing I made a joke of the AFC West, the AARP of head coaches in the NFL. But it's Harbaugh, Reed, Sean Payton, now Pete Carroll. I mean, not only is the oldest coach, some of the oldest coaches in the league, but he's also most successful coaches in the league. All of them have Super Bowls or have been to Super Bowls. Harbaugh being the only one without a Super Bowl, but he's got a national title, so not necessarily a Super Bowl. But these are all winning caliber coaches. So I mean, and that's gonna be a dogfight regardless if teams are bad. Like you always talked about, JD. Like even when the Chiefs or the Raiders weren't good, those matchups were still competitive, and they're always going to be hard-fought matchups. And like we've seen, we've been going to Super Bowls. Raiders have been, vying for the top 4 picks. But still, those matchups the last few years, they've been pretty close, even with garbage quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. So I think when Mike Pennel said it probably the best. All these coaches that you sit there and talk about, we still have the best coaching staff out of everybody. We have Hall of Fame, Andy Reid. Same thing with Spags. Same thing with Joe. And so we know what we're up against. That's the thing about it. Nobody's going to catch us off guard. We understand what we need to contend with. And for us, where everybody else is trying to re-up and catch us, we're sitting there trying to get significantly better than everybody else even then. We know everybody's trying to catch up for us. We know we got a target on our back. We know that, Marcus. Okay? And everybody, like I said, is looking for us because we are the barometer. We're the measure. So, hey, man, what we need to do is protect P on 15. All right? We got to re-up on our defense, which we're doing a good job right now. We're going to get some guys in the draft that's going to be able to help us out. And what we're doing is we're trying to get back on top of the mountaintop with that Super Bowl. And we can talk about all these other teams, and we'll get into it, obviously during the season and stuff like that. But daggone it, I'm telling you right now, hey, everybody's trying to catch up to us. But, yeah, Chiefs down year is going to be 13-4. They had a chance to catch us last year.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, it makes for an interesting season, right? Like, to have really all these successful coaches and all the teams getting better than division. It makes all those 8 games or 6 games fun to watch. So.
Yeah. It's going to be great competition. Great competition.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, because he's such a big Chief fan, and he doesn't hide it at all. But for him to give the Raiders some credit, I thought that was interesting, and we'll talk about. But guys, that does it for us on this Wednesday evening. It was an action-packed show. Mike Pennel coming on here. If you guys get a chance to watch the interview with Mike Pennel, please. It's going to be the best 30 minutes you spend all day listening to that interview with Mike Pennel and JD. And if you didn't know, Mike Pennel was a Chiefs fan growing up, so he grew up like all of us watching JD on the big screen. So that was pretty cool. But we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We hope you guys enjoyed the interview. And we'll be back on next Monday for some more draft coverage, because next week is finally draft week, baby. It's tomorrow at 7. It's 1 week till draft day, baby.
Woo-wee. I'm ready. I'm ready to see this. We talked about the guys, right? And who we think the Chiefs going to get. And it's always the visits are talking. They're talking a lot. They're talking a lot right now of the guys that they like. They're seeing. So that might give you some type of indication about who, as far as they think and who they're going to bring in. But I like to thank Mike Pennel. Okay, the beast, Big Mike, Big Dog, coming in and giving us his great interview. Did a wonderful job. Hope he comes back on. I think he will. But also, too, man, I thank everybody for coming in, just checking us all out, seeing everything out here as well. Appreciate you so much. Sweetie, thank you. I know you out there with the family right now. Hey, even if it was birthday and my daughters and Aram and, my son-in-law and everybody else, love you all. I know y'all sitting there watching, eating some sushi. I'll bring some sushi home for me, too. Okay. G-Pick, appreciate you, man. Melly Matrix, thank you, my brother. Zulu, appreciate you, guy. John Harrison, thank you so much. Hearts of Roses, thank you. Linda Hunter, Sasha, appreciate you. Mike Brennan, the Barbershop, thank you so much. Stanley Mooney, good to see you, Stanley. G-Pick, my guy. Demetrio Spence, good to see you, Demetrio. Let me see, did I say Linda Hunter? Witchy Hall, Witchy, thank you so much, Witchy. It's good talk about Sneed. I want to follow up with some of those things, man, as far as like how that all plays out as well with Sneed. So everybody's got a few things to say. It's the first time I've heard about it, so I'm going to look into it some more. None your business. What's up, none your business? All right. Let me see who else we got here. I said Marion Oliver. I said before. But it was good talk, man. I think everybody came in, had a great time with Mike, man. Mike did it absolutely stunning. I said it was going to be a banger tonight, man. Absolute fire. He was shooting fire from the start until he left, man. So great thing. Joe E. Appreciate you, Joe E. Who else we got in here? I'm Brown. Appreciate you, my brother. Always good seeing you. Haikimo, Landon Jackson. Talking about Landon Jackson. I'm not a huge Landon Jackson fan. Haikimo, not as much. If you're still on here, I like him. Maybe some of the exposure and stuff I didn't quite see. Maybe on the Senior Bowl when I wanted to see kind of a little bit more. I don't know. But hey, I like him. He's a good player. Pona Kawhi, appreciate you, man. We need to draft a DT with our number 1 pick. Have a major shortfall in that position. Sure. Big Mike right here is holding the fort down. And we got all the Menahu and those guys are here tonight. They were showing out. So we know they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready. So we bring a young guy in, we'll get somebody here. No question about it. Lars Zingzer. Appreciate you, Laura, for coming in, saying what's up to us. Stanley Mooney, like I said Enrique Trillo, we should have learned all the lessons from Tyreek Hill. Don't jump to conclusions too quick. And also our punter, we got him because he was released before the whole story came out. Well said, Enrique. Well said. Appreciate you, sir, for the input. I said Hearts of Rosa, Drew Boucher. Thank you so much. DeMonte Green Beans. What do you expect these players to do? Lay down. What's up, DeMonte? How you doing, man? Good to see you coming in and saying what's up to us. Who else we got here? Neff. Good to see you, Neff. Appreciate you coming in. Word. Can't never forget you, Neff. You know. I had to get here, talk about a little bit Green Bay. Hannah. What's up, Hannah? Appreciate it. Timmy G123. Appreciate you. KC Colossus. Neff, thank you for telling Avery happy birthday. I know he'll love it. He loves you. Lewis Cutbirth. What's going on, Lewis? Appreciate you, Lewis, man. Love you, man. Appreciate you, guy. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for saying that. So we trying to give you all what you need, man. John Clifford, good seeing you, John. Coming in and saying what's up to us. We see G, most underrated player on defense, talking about Mike. Great personality. You do more interviews with such a leader. Yes, he is. Agree with you 100%, 1,000% actually. Ray 028, good to see you. Rossellini, number one, I believe Brent Beach, go Chiefs. Yes, sir. Well done. A great episode tonight. Y'all didn't get to see Mike? Go back and check us out. Give us a thumbs up and a like and all those different things. Follow us. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs in itself. Come see us. It's all free, man. We're giving this content because we love doing it. We love talking to you all. We love engaging with you because we think you are family. We look at you as family because you are family for us. So Chiefs Concerns family and people out here, take care. God bless. Y'all have a wonderful night. Hey, Avery, happy birthday. Papa loves you. You know that. You know one thing is true, and it always will be true, that Papa loves you. Papa loves you. So I will see you soon. Marcus, my brother, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Well done, sir. Well done.
Love you, brother. Love you, brother.
Listen, y'all take care, man. God bless. Y'all love each other the way y'all supposed to love each other. Okay? And don't forget that. We hold each other up, and that's the way it's supposed to be. All right? Other than that, y'all be careful. Be safe. We will see y'all next week. Next week, Marcus.
Monday.
Yes, sir.
Hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable Easter weekend.
Easter weekend. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter. Yes, sir. It's the reason for the season. Yes, sir.
Always. All right, love you, buddy. Take it easy, everybody.
All right, brother. We'll see you. Love y'all.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.